He's actually responsible for the deaths of up to 300 people in just a 14-month period. He's not really spoken about much. We talk to people here and they don't want to talk about Matthew Hopkins. It's almost a dark history that they want to forget. 3 hours after his death, he was brought up here and he was buried in an unmarked grave. If this was anybody else, I wouldn't drive 6 hours down here. Tonight, we know where that grave is, we know where that derelict church is, and we're going to take you there. Never been done before.
Think this has ever been shown on video?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Matthew Hopkins is like right here. Hot again. Matthew, did you go to hell?
We have had people taken over by spirit. 4 days, 4 nights, poor Elizabeth, who was in her 80s, had no food, no water. She could barely speak. The nod of her head was enough for Matthew Hopkins to say, "You're a witch."
I heard "get out." Ha ha ha. Nah!
There's a few times that we've come down here and they're all dancing. There's a lot of satanic stuff that goes on down here.
You're mocking us, Matthew. We're pure evil.
Oh, what is this?
I think we might be surrounded.
That was so loud.
Look at my eyes.
Matthew Hopkins, he was a religious man. Was he a serial killer? Was he just a religious fanatic? Or was he just in it for the money? By the end of tonight, hopefully, you'll have the answers.
On tonight's episode of the Paranormal Files, we're on the hunt for one of the most notorious figures in British history, Matthew Hopkins, the Witchfinder General.
Make this city an example of witches. Hear me as its
You can look at this story a number of different ways. Either Matthew Hopkins was a crazed religious fanatic, a guy who was chasing a payday, or a stone-cold psychopath responsible for the deaths of 300 plus people.
We the people condemn thee as a witch.
We're standing right now on the ground floor of the tavern where Matthew Hopkins snatched his first witch for trial. And let me tell you, the stories you're about to hear and the places we're about to visit in this video are about to blow your mind. Thank you guys for tuning in. From all the way here in England, I'm Colin Browen, and you're watching the Paranormal Files.
Hi guys, everyone. Welcome to Hopping Bridge. We're directly in between the small town of Manningtree this way and Misterley that way. We brought you here tonight for the story of Matthew Hopkins, the self-proclaimed Witchfinder General. Now, Matthew Hopkins was born in a small village about 6 miles away from here, born the son of a Puritan minister. He moved into his house in Manningtree in around 1620, and he lived next door to the pub where he took his first witch from. We're going to take you tonight to various hotspots where the ghost of Matthew Hopkins is seen, and also some of the ghosts of these poor unfortunate souls that he captured and accused of witchcraft. Now, Matthew Hopkins was a religious man.
Of course, there's like 80 million.
I know, it's like
Right when you start talking.
not a car went past and then you start talking, it's fucking rush hour.
All right, I think we're good now.
Yeah, Matthew Hopkins, he was a religious man, a self-proclaimed Witchfinder General. So, was he a serial killer? Was he just a religious fanatic who believed he was clearing this area of the UK of evil? Or was he just in it for the money? By the end of tonight, hopefully, you'll have the answers. Maybe Matthew Hopkins will make himself known to us and answer the question himself.
So Matthew Hopkins is like a really notorious figure, right?
Really notorious figure. He's actually responsible for the deaths of up to 300 people in just a 14-month period.
That's an insane big number. Yeah, that's an insane amount of people.
Yeah,
and I feel like a lot of people don't know this story.
It's quite a hidden story. But whereas if you look at the Pendle witches, where there was 10 people executed, Matthew Hopkins was responsible for the deaths of 300, and it's part of our history, but it's not spoke about. There was a film made about Matthew Hopkins, and that's it really. He's fairly unknown and quite a difficult character to sort of pin down. But we've done a lot of research. We've got the place, we know where he was born, we know where he lived, we know the place where he tortured his witches, we know the woodland area where he went, where the persecuted souls from Manningtree and Misterley went to try and escape his reaches, and we've got a really special visit tonight to the place where he's actually buried. He was buried several hours after he died at the age of 27.
So who was Matthew Hopkins, really quick? Like, how did he start the witch hunting?
Okay, yeah, Matthew Hopkins was born the son of a Puritan minister in or around 1620. His early life is a little bit sketchy, but you can make some safe assumptions that in those days his father would have taught him, being the local minister. He disappeared off the radar and appeared back in the village of Mistley, just up the road there, around the age of 20. When he appeared back in Mistley, he was fluent speaking in English, fluent written in English. He was also fluent in Latin, spoken and written, which would indicate that he probably took further education in the lowlands, maybe France, Holland. His mother was of French origin, so again it would sort of tie in the gaps that we can't sort of really trace him. He worked as a shipping clerk. The tidal river behind us leads out into the English Channel, so he works as a shipping clerk in Mistley, where he met a gentleman called John Stern. John Stern was very much into the ways of witches and demons and that the sort of occult. Much older, much wiser than Matthew Hopkins, and I think if those two hadn't have met, we wouldn't be here now talking about the deaths of 300 people at the hands of Matthew Hopkins. It's almost like Ian Bradley, Myra Hindley. If they hadn't have met, we probably wouldn't have the Moors murders. If Fred and Rosemary West hadn't have met, we wouldn't have had all the murders. So I think it was just the chemistry between the two. So Matthew and John got friendly, got talking about it, and Matthew at the time was living in a house in Manningtree, just a mile down there, next to a pub called the Red Lion. John Stern convinced Matthew that there was a group of witches meeting in Manningtree, actually meeting in the pub next door to his house. So one Friday night, Matthew Hopkins burst into the pub, and there was 6 women there, 6 women who were on the edge of society. They were poor, they were fairly bedraggled, they were fairly old, and he picked on probably what was the weakest one. She was a one-legged, one-eyed 80-year-old. Her name was Elizabeth Shaw. He dragged Elizabeth out of the pub. He dragged her all the way along this path behind us, down the old road to a pub in Mistley called the Thorn Inn. Now, when you get to the Thorn Inn, it states that Matthew Hopkins had an interest in the Thorn. I can't find anywhere at all that show him as owner. It had an interest. I believe that he used the rooms at the Thorn Inn for his torturing of witches. Torturing was actually outlawed at the time of Matthew Hopkins, but there was nobody really around to police it. And sleep deprivation wasn't classed as torture, which was one of his methods to get a confession of you being a witch. He used several other methods. One of them was the ducking test. It was never used as actual evidence in court. It was just almost like a power thing that he did. And what he used to do was he would get the poor unfortunate soul that was accused of witchcraft. He would tie that thumb to that big toe, that thumb to that big toe. You would be dressed in a flowing gown, so you're almost like tied up like a ball, and you'll be dropped in a body of water. This is one of the pools that he used. Because you basically bobbed a couple of times, because you were airtight, that was good enough. The water had rejected your body, so that was almost like a tick in the box that he'd got for you being a witch.
You were all.
And then, most likely, if you fail those tests, you're going to be executed.
Nobody failed.
Oh, I mean...
Sorry, nobody drowned because he didn't want you to drown. A, it would have got him a little bit of bad press, drowning innocent people, and secondly, he wouldn't have been paid. So he really didn't want you to drown.
That's crazy to think that he was doing it right here.
Right here. And this is one of the spots on a moonlit night people will see the figure of a typical Puritan person. They would have a long flowing gown on, boots and a wide-brimmed hat, almost like a witch's hat, but cut off flat on the top, was a typical Puritan dress.
And people think that's Matthew?
People think that's Matthew Hopkins, yeah.
Well, should we go to the first of our many stops? Technically the second.
Yeah, we can go to probably the Thorn Inn at just up the road, probably, and then we sort of talk about how he sort of went about catching his witches and some of the other little tests he did to get another tick in the box to say you were a witch.
Perfect.
Yep.
As we began our journey that evening, we had no idea how dark it was going to get, but we had a few stops to make along the way before we began investigating. so that we could discover the true story of the Witchfinder General.
Okay, here we are. This is the Red Lion in Manningtree. This is the inn that Matthew Hopkins took his very first witch from, and just on the side of the building there was where his house was, where he lived when in his time in Manningtree, and he also died in that house. The house has been demolished about 100 years ago, but there are pictures inside the pub with the house still there. So after his conversations and his relationship with John Stern convinced him that this was the place that the witches of Manningtree and Misterley were meeting. Matthew Hopkins one Friday night burst into this very inn, and in fact there were these 6 ladies meeting inside the pub. He grabbed the first one that he come to. Her name was Elizabeth Clark, and she was in her 80s. She was one-eyed and one-legged. He dragged her out, screaming at her, accusing her of causing untold atrocities. He dragged her down this road here behind us, along the banks of the river, down the old road to the Thorn Inn. Now the Thorn Inn is where Matthew Hopkins had an interest. He used the upper floors to actually get his confession from the witches. What he used to do was he would strip the poor unfortunate souls naked, and he would sit them on a stool. As soon as sleep started to come over, he would get them up, he would march them up and down, until they sort of were exhausted. He would sit them down again, berating them, shouting at them, accusing them constantly. 4 days, 4 nights, poor Elizabeth, who was in her 80s, had no food, no water. She could barely speak. At the nod of her head was enough for Matthew Hopkins to say, "It's a confession, you're a witch." At that time, he also gave her some more names of 5 other people local to the 2 villages. She confessed they were also witches. Matthew Hopkins' show was on the road. He was then on a mission to clear Manningtree and Misterley of the evil that he believed. He started to gather people up. He culminated in having 29 people executed for witchcraft from these 2 tiny English villages, and they became the Chelmsford witch trials.
I mean, 30 people between these 2 towns, and with how small they are, that was a very significant amount of people.
Obviously, they've expanded and they've grown into bigger towns and bigger villages now. But yeah, it was a good percentage of the population. The thing was, once he'd got one, they then confessed and accused another one, or another 2, or another 3. So what the poor people of these 2 villages realised that Matthew Hopkins was out to sort of get them, and he was on his witch hunt. They tried to get solace in the local woods, probably about a mile away from here, but Matthew Hopkins tried to escape the reach of Matthew Hopkins. Matthew Hopkins realised this, and he went to the woods and found them. Down at the bottom of the woods is another pool that he used to use for his swim tests.
Did some of the people that were caught in the woods, did they go on to be executed?
Yes, yeah. The total in 29, there was around 50 from the 2 villages originally, but 29 of them actually passed his tests and were sort of didn't confess and got away with it, or if they were put before the judge and there was no evidence or not enough evidence. We've talked about his how he got his confession, which was the sleep deprivation. He did his swim test. He called it the swim test. It wasn't really used in a court. It was just something that Matthew liked to do, and he did another third test. Well, it was John Stern's specialty, and it was called witch pricking. Now, John Stern had a retractable or a blade, and if the accused had got a skin blemish, a skin spot, a mole, maybe a skin tag, they believed that was the mark of the devil, where they would suckle the devil's familiars in exchange for powers to perform their magic or their witchcraft. So in John's theory, if you pricked one of these blemishes and it didn't bleed, you must be a witch. They never bled because the blade that he used was retractable and it went into the handle. So nobody's skin spot ever bled. Another tick in the box for being a witch.
What was the other evidence that they got against, like, these witches? Who were these people? What was, like, their story?
They were just, again, usually poor people, people on the edge of society, homeless people, orphans, widows, just anybody that was slightly different were brought in, and they were easy pickings for Matthew Hopkins. Okay, just at the side of the pub there was Matthew Hopkins, that imposing house. It has been knocked down over a couple of 100 years now, but this is the house he bought. This is the house where he conducted his witch trials and his witch hunting from, and the house where he died on August 24th in 1640 at the age of 24. A very rich man.
August.
Again, August.
And what about like paranormal activity here?
Paranormal activity, okay. When we've done investigations here before, we tend to try the Estes method in Matthew Hopkins's house, and again, why not? And again, we've had things coming through, such as evil, get out, persecution, witchcraft, and women in particular are verbally abused whilst using the Estes method. Inside the pub, particularly upstairs in the function room, we have witnessed doors opening and closing, things moving across the bar, and just general sort of communication using equipment such as the REM pods and K2 meters. Intelligent responses coming through there, particularly when you talk about poor Elizabeth and John Stern, Matthew Hopkins. Start to have conversations about it, and they almost like start to react.
Do you think they would care if you walked in and you like pointed out the picture?
I'll have to go and find it first. If you don't ask, you don't get, do you? So yeah, Colin is basically standing just there now, and obviously that's where the Matthew Hopkins house was, slightly set back, adjoining that property and that property. So what we call a terrace property. It's been gone for a couple of 100 years. This picture, looking at this, is 1800s, and the view down there's not really changed that much, has it?
Why did they knock it down?
No idea. Whether the locals say it was because of whose it was, and they just wanted any part of him and any part of history destroying. Obviously, he was taken from here within 3 hours of his death, and he was buried up on the Mistley Heath on a graveyard and church that is no longer there, and he was buried in an unmarked grave. But tonight we know where that grave is, we know where that derelict church is, and we're going to take you there. Never been done before.
And so a lot of times with people like this, they will bury them in unmarked graves because they're worried people will like deface the grave and dig them up.
Yeah,
Is that what happened?
So it was taken away really, really quickly, and then up onto the Mistley Heath, which is a very, very remote place, and buried in an unmarked grave. And he's not really spoken about much. We talk to people here, and they don't want to talk about Matthew Hopkins. It's almost a dark history that they want to forget. Yeah, so this it would have been basically a replica of this. So the house would have been there. This would have come down here, and this would have been a small garden area.
Are any of the bricks or anything original?
Yeah, all this is original from that time, and obviously this wall would have been part of his garden wall.
This might sound like a stupid question, but who would be building those houses back then?
People tend to build their own houses. Local builders, pretty much the same as today. But he actually purchased the house here.
I wonder if he ever touched these bricks.
I mean, I guarantee you did.
I think there's a spider web right there.
That spider web wasn't there when he was here.
Could be a really old web.
I think it would have fallen apart by now.
Me too.
This is where we do get some stuff going on.
Feels creepy up here.
It does feel a little creepy.
Yeah.
And this building's like original as it was back in the day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these would have
Yeah.
looked right over his house.
His garden, in effect.
And who knows, he might have been doing stuff in his garden.
It's interesting.
We can come up when the pub's closed. You can have a wander around and maybe get a feel for the place when it's empty. And
Perfect. Awesome, man. On to the next spot.
okay, this is the Thorn Inn at Mistley. Matthew Hopkins worked just in the shipping yard down, just a little bit down there. That's where he first met John Stern. Now, in the history books, it says Matthew Hopkins had an interest in the Thorn Inn. Some people believed he actually owned it. There's no records of ever being on the deeds. It's more like he rented the upper floors for the people that he brought from Mistley and Manningtree to bring and get their confessions. Okay, Elizabeth was his first witch. She was taken from the Red Line next door to his house. He dragged her out of the Red Line. He dragged her up the old road which comes along back here, and he brought her to the Mistley Thorn. He used the upper floors for his torture or his sleep deprivation. So Elizabeth was brought here, she was stripped, she was searched for the witch's mark, the skin spot if you like, and that's where Roger Stern would use the retractable blade. Following that, he needed a confession. Now, torture was outlawed in the UK at the time, but sleep deprivation wasn't classed as torture. So Elizabeth was sat on a stool. As soon as she started to fall asleep, she was dragged up. She was berated. She was shouted out, "You're a witch! Confess to being a witch!" She was marched up and down, up and down, up and down. She was then sat down again. Bearing in mind, she was had no food, no water. As soon as sleep started to come over her, she was dragged up again, marched up and down, up and down. 4 days, 4 nights. Poor Elizabeth suffered this terrible treatment until she eventually confessed. Barely able to speak, a nod was good enough for Hopkins. That was it. That was the confession he needed. We do this tour many times a year, and one Halloween we were here just standing down by the Swan. Some lovely people who come were telling the story, and at that point I mentioned about the being marched up and down, up and down. One of the ladies fell back into the other lady. I said, "Oh my God." I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "We stayed here last night and we were kept awake all night by the sound of pacing upstairs, up above us. All we could hear was somebody pacing back and two, which just validated for me what Matthew Hopkins actually did and what he actually used this ancient inn for.
So you think that was the ghost of Elizabeth?
The ghost of Elizabeth, an echo of times past, whether it was something that's imprinted on the very fabric of the building. It wouldn't have been a great time for Elizabeth. She would have been in a terrible state, and it's just left its mark, and it was replaying that Halloween night we were here.
So what about all the other witches that were hanged here? Where were their interrogations?
They would have taken place at the Thorn behind us. So once Elizabeth confessed, she did name other people. He then went and sought them, brought back here. They suffered the same treatment until they confessed. And then eventually the people of the villages realised they needed to escape the reach of Matthew Hopkins, so they headed just up the road to the woods, where they hoped that Matthew Hopkins wouldn't find them, but unfortunately Matthew followed them and he carried on his persecution until he had over 30 people rounded up. Took them up to Colchester Castle, where they were held in the cells at Colchester Castle until their trial date at Chelmsford, and that became the Chelmsford Witch Trials.
He worked in the shipyards. He wasn't like a pastor or like a preacher or anything around here.
No.
So when he goes into a pub and just drags an old woman out, why didn't anybody stop him? I mean, because it's a far distance from that pub to here.
Yeah, in those times, if because we were in the middle of a witch craze, if you like, in the UK. So if somebody was accused of a witch, then the person dragging them out would be the hero, if you like, rather than the victim. So it was seen as a good thing that he was doing.
So how did he get the authority to interrogate and like torture 20 plus people?
He gave it himself. He was self-proclaimed Witchfinder General. He wasn't working under the instructions or permission of anybody. It was fairly lawless, with civil war breaking out. So he was fairly unpoliced, if you like. He was free to do what he would at his own free will. And because the witch craze was striking the UK, it was seen as a good thing.
So he came up with his own nickname?
Yeah, he called himself the Witchfinder General.
And what was that? Like, where did that come from?
Almost like from a general from the army, and he was a witchfinder, so it almost like he sort of bigged himself up, if you like. He was the general of the witchfinders.
That's so crazy. That's a crazy ass name to just give yourself.
Yeah.
It's a crazy ass thing to do.
Well, yeah. So he was operating like above the law, essentially, but they were giving him the pass.
Essentially, there wasn't a lot of law around, so he was free to do what he believed was the right thing, and because of what was going on at the time, nobody really questioned it.
Well, you want to walk over to that plaque?
Yeah. Crimes that he committed. Basically, this is what Matthew Hopkins.
Where? Really? Yeah. Let me see if I could see it. Oh, it's not black, it's gray.
It's just an old black cat.
I can't read it without my glasses on, but yeah. This is really the only evidence that Matthew Hopkins was here. It just states Matthew Hopkins, his self-appointed Witchfinder General, was based in Manningtree and Misterley during a dark period of English history. And it goes on to tell his story.
It's really weird because Probably people online are going to agree with this, but when I read the title Witchfinder General, and I've heard the Matthew Hopkins story, I've always thought that he was a government official or someone that was like appointed to the role of doing this, but he was just like a random guy who just went full psychopath.
Yep, self-appointed, son of a Puritan minister, very well educated, and met up with John Stern, who was more educated in the ways of witchcraft and catching witches. They got together. He convinced Matthew there was a coven of witches meeting in the pub next door to his house, and off he went. Once he cleared this area of witchfinders, he took his show on the road and covered many towns and villages around the area for the next 14 months.
Made a whole lot of money.
Yep.
It's crazy to think maybe John Stern, he just approaches this guy that's just working at the ship docks, and dad's a pastor, and he's like, hey, I know a way to make a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go hunt some witches.
Yeah.
So what did you say is incorrect on here?
This, as you sort of read through it, it states on here that he actually owned this place. There's no evidence that he owned it. It's in the writings it says he has an interest in it, not that he owned it. And I believe, looking at the deeds to the place, he's never been on the deeds as an owner. So I think he just maybe rented part of it for the purpose of bringing together the people from Manningtree and Misterley and building up his case against them for the Chelmsford witch trials.
So there's one thing in this entire town to show that this guy who eventually had 300 people murdered was from here and started here, and that one thing is incorrect in some ways?
Possibly, yeah. And that's it.
That's crazy. I mean, what a tiny ass little plaque for how insane the story is.
After those first few stops, we were now ready to confront the ghost of Matthew Hopkins at a place that nobody's ever investigated for paranormal activity yet in the past. The unmarked gravesite of Matthew Hopkins himself, a place nobody's ever investigated before.
So where are we going right now?
Okay, this is what is known as Misterley Heath. This is a church that was demolished probably about 100 years after Matthew Hopkins was buried. So if you just glance across there, you can actually see the outline of the church. It's now in somebody's private property. Matthew Hopkins left his house next door to the Red Lion 24th of August. 3 hours after his death, he was brought up here and he was buried in the graveyard in an unmarked grave. So after he felt that he'd cleared Manningtree and Misterley of the evil, that became the Chelmsford witch trials. They were all tried in Chelmsford. They were taken up onto Gallows Hill, which is now called Primrose Hill in Chelmsford, and all executed for witchcraft. Matthew Hopkins then took his show on the road. He went into different villages local to here, Great Yarmouth, Kings Lynn, Stowe, Newmarket, Bury St Edmunds. Now the thing with Matthew, he never rode into these towns and villages asking if they wanted to be cleared of witches. His name soon got out, and people actually invited him to come into the towns and villages, and he was paid. They actually paid him money for ridding their villages and towns of witches. There is records. He went to a place called Great Yarmouth on more than one occasion. He got paid £26. He went to Kings Lynn. He got paid £12. He went to Stowe and got paid £26, £28. Some of the village councils actually raised their taxes to actually afford to get Matthew Hopkins to come in. Now £26 for one witch, where the average weekly wage was 2.5 pence. But that's what he was paid. So he would come in to the town, the people, the township, or the people would present this person to him. He would do his witch trials that we've talked about, the witch pricking, the ducking, and then he would get a confession. Once he got a confession, he got them to trial and subsequently executed for witchcraft. He had that many people at one point in his 14-month career of Witchfinder General. He was having to hire barns to keep them in, so a lot of people actually died awaiting trial due to the poor conditions that they were being held in these makeshift prisons and makeshift barns. He was called into a place called Bury St Edmunds, And this time, unusually, it was a male that he was called in, and it was the local vicar. His name was Reverend John Lewes. Now Matthew decided he was getting quite brave and quite sort of flamboyant now. He decided he was going to get the Reverend and do a public swim test. So he actually advertised the fact that they'd got this witch. He was a Reverend, he was high in society, and they were going to do this public swim test with him in a place called Framlingham Castle Moat. So they got the poor Reverend, and again they tied him up as they would do, the thumb to the big toe, white flowing out, dropped him in, and he floated. Matthew didn't want anybody to drown. He didn't want to be known as a killer of people, and he obviously wouldn't get paid. The poor Reverend floated, then again through deep sleep deprivation, he then confessed to sending his imps out to sea to cause a shipwreck. There was no records of any shipwreck being caused around that time, but the confession was good enough. He became part of the Bury St Edmunds witch trials. Poor Reverend was executed. Now, when you look at what the parishioners were saying about their Reverend, he basically was suffering dementia. So they thought he was a little weird, a little strange, and maybe even possessed, but he was suffering dementia. He was executed for witchcraft. Shortly after that, the tide started to turn against Matthew Hopkins. Some of the church higher-ups got wind of what he was doing, and he was told to cease his swim tests immediately. Some of his other methods were questioned. Matthew Hopkins, I think, then realised his career of Witchfinder was over. He retired back to his house in Manningtree next to the Red Lion, and wrote a booklet, a pamphlet, and it was basically trying to justify and explain why he did and what he did in the name of religion and clearing this part of England of all evil. Shortly after writing his booklet, he then suffered TB, started to cough up blood, and basically died several days later. So in a 14-month career from him taking his first witch, poor Elizabeth Clark, to Reverend John Lewes, he was responsible for the deaths of at least 300 people from local towns and villages around this area. He died. Within 3 hours of his death, he was brought to this very place we are now and buried in an unmarked grave and basically forgotten about.
So this story has been your passion, right?
Yeah.
Why this story?
I think because the Pendle Witch Trials are very famous for sort of almost worldwide. Everybody's heard the Pendle Witch Trials, and there's been plays made about the Pendle Witch Trials in London and in theatres. Matthew Hopkins was far more prolific in his witch finding. His reach got much further than one or two villages, and his short-lived life it caused a lot of pain, suffering and grief for the families of those that were persecuted and subsequently executed for witchcraft. So I tried to learn and bring the Matthew Hopkins story alive, and we actually do quite a lot of events, bringing people on ghost walks and ghost hunts, and it's great to sort of keep this history alive. It is part of British history, maybe not great, but it's part of history that we shouldn't forget, and it should never be allowed to happen again.
And tell us, before we go over to where it is, about like the process of finding his grave.
Yeah, a lot of the information about Matthew Hopkins, you have to make certain assumptions, and there is a churchyard on Misterley Heath, just a few minutes' drive from here. So I, doing the research after finding where he was born, where he was educated, where he first appeared in Manningtree, where he lived, where he worked, where he took his first witch from, etc. I needed then to sort of carry on following through his footsteps. So I went to the St Mary's Church on what I thought was Misterley Heath, and all the graves were post his death, which is the 1640. So a little bit more research, and I found some old maps and appeared at this place. And I always wanted to be at the place of his burial on the date of his death. So I found this place, and I come in, and it is private property. It's part of somebody's garden, and they were very worried at first what some strange person was doing wandering around in their garden, but as soon as I mentioned it, they were really, really sort of enthusiastic and open, and were happy to talk about the history of Matthew Hopkins. So it's very, very, very little known where he the actual place of his grave. We just know it's in this small area we are now.
Do you think this has ever been shown on video?
Not to my knowledge, no. I could never find anything doing the research where we've actually got it on video. It's been filmed. So this is the first.
Where do you think he is?
From looking at the plans and talking to the lovely people that own this small field now, we've got a good idea.
Should we walk over?
Yeah. Okay, I don't know if you can, how bright your light is. You can actually see the outline of the church that was.
Oh yeah.
You probably get a better view from this area. So it comes all the way around, and then obviously the trees have grown through it now. But this was the St Mary's Church on Mistley Heath, not the St Mary's Church from late 1700s. This was the original.
Is this all stinging nettle right here?
Yeah. Oh, you got shorts on, haven't you?
Oh yeah, this is pretty good.
Stop, please.
Don't touch it.
Wait, have you got any dog please at home?
This looks like an original altar stone, something that's part of the original church. It's the first time I've actually been in here. I've only was allowed to walk around it. Resurrect is written on that.
Where?
Just on that side there.
Could you? Oh yeah, right there. Oh, that's really interesting. So this would have been part of the church,
Yeah.
obviously.
All these stones and some more.
That's a pretty big church.
Yeah, yeah. It's safe. It was probably the size of the new St Mary's. Yeah, still there's something on this. In memory of Harriet Freeborn, wife of William. So yeah, it's just reminiscence of old gravestones and.
Just crazy to think this is just in someone's yard.
Yeah. Roughly, we think his grave's on this, just on this side. There's another one, can't quite.
Look at the top of it.
It's right on. Marie, who died here, this life, 14 something, 75 years.
That's nuts though that they, like, I know tearing down a church, like sometimes it gets to a state where they can't keep up with it, so just knocking down.
Okay, yeah, we've just come through what is the remains of the church, and a lot of sort of debris still in there, and then there's some slabs that may have been part of the altar, but we've just sort of come to the outside now, where we believe this spot here is where Matthew Hopkins was buried 3 hours after his death, and where he remains today. He was put in an unmarked grave, but the lovely people that own this property have shown us on a map this is the area where he was buried and remains today.
So why the unmarked grave?
Again, it was almost like the dark history, and it's sort of out of sight, out of mind. He felt that he didn't deserve a Christian burial, although he was a Puritan himself. But yeah, because of the atrocities that he committed and the number of people that died at his hand, it was just, okay, he's gone. That's part of our history. Put it away.
So we're at the end of his life, were the tides turning against him?
At the end of his life, the tide was turning against him. That's why he retired back to his house in Manningtree and tried to justify his actions in this little pamphlet that he wrote. And also, the tide was turning against witchcraft in general. In general, Parliament had changed, the laws had changed, and just maybe 15 years after Matthew Hopkins' death, witchcraft wasn't seen as an executable offence.
Crazy that he also was never punished for any of those what you would call murders nowadays.
Yeah, he believed he was doing good in his methods because he believed that he was clearing the area of evil. So with his Puritan upbringing, was he the religious fanatic who believed that these people on the edge of society were actually witches? Was he a mass killer, or did he just see it as making a living?
I mean, at the end of the day, even if you you do believe that you were doing the right thing by ridding the world of witches, he had to have known he was trying to make sure that, like, he was keeping them alive so he could get paid for them to be executed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had to at least, like, understood that he was doing the wrong thing a little bit, even if he was killing witches.
A wrong thing for a normal, rational human being. A right thing for somebody who was religiously motivated, who believed these people were evil. He believed he was doing good, and his belief was almost like bolstered because people were calling him in and using him and using his services and paying heavily for using his services. So they also believed that in this middle of the 1600s, this witch craze that was sweeping the UK, that they were actually doing the right thing.
So have you ever done any paranormal investigating here?
Never. The only time I've been here was 2 years ago on the anniversary of death in the middle of the day. Until tonight, I've never been here in the dark, never been here any other time, never walked the paths that we've just walked and read the stones. It was just okay, this is the place, and I've been, and that was it. It was a lot more overgrown when I came, but we've sort of walked through the church that he would have been brought into prior to being buried. So it's a bit of a special moment.
So should we do a little bit of ghost hunting?
Yeah, I think it's called for.
I mean, it's just insane to think Matthew Hopkins is like probably right here.
Yeah.
What's left of him?
And the sunken ground is a giveaway. I don't know if you noticed that.
I'm just standing on that sunken ground.
You're standing right on it.
Yeah. Maybe that's the closest I've ever been to him.
All right, guys, what an absolute crazy opportunity right now. We are out in the English countryside, like Paul just introduced, at the actual gravesite of Matthew Hopkins. This guy, as we've said throughout this entire documentary, is an extremely notorious figure here in England, and I just think it's wild to be standing right here where he's buried. His skeleton's right here, and it's just unmarked in like the most unassuming place you can possibly imagine.
Honestly.
And like Paul said, they've never really done a paranormal investigation here, so that's also a first.
I mean, not many people have been granted the opportunity to come here.
Yeah, nobody, I mean, really knows that this is even here, I would say.
I mean,
So
even just the fact Paul was saying that it's usually a little overgrown back here, and right now it's actually cut down enough where we can walk through everything. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
yeah, it's really weird to actually be sitting right here thinking that he's here. But we're going to be investigating kind of multiple places in this episode, so while we were here, we had to hop on this opportunity, and I'm going to hold this because I can't.
It's hot.
Therapy, it's hot.
Is he in hell?
To Matthew Hopkins, if you're here, or to any of the other parishioners or former members of the St. Mary's congregation, we are right now calling out because we really want to confirm that Matthew Hopkins' body is right down here. It said Nana, and then it said, oh, field. Convenient field. What the fuck? That's actually crazy. Right when I said we want to confirm that he's here.
We want to introduce ourselves real quick. My name's Connor.
And my name's Colin. Matthew Hopkins, are you here with us? Tourism. We've been talking about that all night. We're looking for information about Matthew Hopkins, the Witchfinder General. Can somebody who's here confirm that his body is right in front of us somewhere?
Chocolate.
What's your name? Well, once again, my name's Colin. It's nice to meet you.
My name's Connor.
Now that we told you our names, can you tell us your name? This is the first time anybody has used any of these tools around here. All you have to do is say the word out loud, and hopefully we can hear you say it.
MUA.
Harassment. Dude, Mom again. It said Mom, Nana, and Mom. Who is this? Can you tell us your name?
Australian.
Australian?
Holy shit. Little goblin over there. Scared me. Australian left us.
Is there anybody out here with us right now?
Eliminate.
Eliminate. Was the person who's buried here trying to eliminate witches and witchcraft?
Wait here.
Are you gonna bring him?
Laboratory.
He's gonna bring him over.
We'll wait. Come on over. Don't be afraid of us.
What the f? Come here. Wait here, over, come here.
You want us to go into the church?
It's a creature.
What was that?
Is there anybody over there right now?
No.
Yeah, I keep hearing like somebody walking right there.
Revoker.
Revoker? Would that
Neil.
Neil. Would that make sense? I mean, like, think about it though. Like, revoker, Neil.
Yeah.
Would like revoker be like a witchcraft term? I've never heard that word.
To revoke?
Yeah, revoking religion.
Back on, isn't it? Almost like revoke.
That's just a weird phrase of words. Revoker, Neil.
Just before that, did it say preacher?
It's a creature.
Ah, creature. I thought it said preacher.
But this said terrorism.
I mean,
it's pretty much what he was doing.
He was, yeah.
keep this secret. Do you not like that we're telling the story of what happened?
It said to come here.
Are we standing on your grave now?
Where is Matthew from?
A village called Wenham.
But he was English?
Yeah, maybe 6 miles away from here. He was born. His mother was French.
Because this just said Dutch Frankfurt.
It's believed he spent time in Holland learning his further education.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember you saying that actually.
Yeah.
What did that say?
Bolshevist? I screamed.
Bolshevist, I screamed. Matthew, are you right underneath our feet right now? We're not here to get revenge or hot again.
Matthew, did you go to hell?
11
What time is it?
11 o'clock's when we're going to be at the pub. And it said Tyler.
Male energy.
Huh. Is this Matthew?
That's so trippy to think he's like somewhere right here. In a weird way, I almost feel like his skeleton's gonna like come out of the ground and grab my ankle. Matthew, is this your grave? Can you just say yes? What was that?
What was that? That sounded like a scream.
Did you hear that, Paul?
Yeah.
What was that?
Over this way.
What was that?
Secrets surrounding my death.
Secrets surrounding my death. Keep this secret.
These moths don't get much action out here.
I feel bugs all over my skin.
Oh.
Visa.
Can you tell me if any of the spirits around here know anything about Matthew Hopkins? Oh my god. Stop complaining.
Who are you? Stop complaining. Matthew? Did they call you the Witchfinder General? S-E-A-M-Y. See me.
You want to try a DR60?
Sure.
Chelsea.
God happened.
God.
That's weird.
Tyler.
Whoa! What the f? I just got Tyler. Remember? I just cleared the screen, but I just got Tyler. Would you have any idea what that would mean?
How's it spelled?
Tyler. But I mean, it could be phonetic.
It's a surname rather than the job, the Tyler.
Yeah. So we've introduced ourselves already. To any spirits that are here or any energies, is there a man named Matthew Hopkins buried here?
I am not alone. Clear.
I'm not alone. I'm not sorry. Perish.
Raro.
I'm not sorry. I'm not alone. And perish. And there's a bunch of creepy spiders.
Lowell?
And Lowell. Lowell. Oh, what the fuck?
Find my body.
Find my body and wealthy.
He was wealthy.
Yeah.
He was?
He was wealthy.
Oh yeah, from all the witch finding.
Yeah.
Bro, what the fuck is that bug? You see that shit? What is that, bro? I've never seen a bug that looks like that. You
That's
know
an American eating earwig.
An American eating earwig? Is that what you just said?
Yeah. Alright. Once again.
Can you tell me, yes or no, is a man named Matthew Hopkins buried right where we're standing?
If Matthew is here, do you regret killing all those so-called witches?
Is Matthew's body right below us right now? Or is he a little bit further into the cemetery?
Do you like that we're telling Matthew Hopkins' story or not?
Matthew, did you actually believe that the victims you killed were witches? You just said wood. Is your body a little bit further this way? Fuck. Bro.
They go up your
Off
nose.
my nose. Jesus Christ. Dude, these bugs are savage.
I'm not friendly.
Alright, let's listen to this. And then I kind of want to have Paul do it with us.
Yeah.
Tell me, yes or no, is a man named Matthew Hopkins buried right where we're standing? If Matthew is here, do you regret killing all those so-called witches? Is Matthew's body right below us right now? Or is he a little bit further into the cemetery? Do you like that we're telling Matthew Hopkins' story or not? Matthew, did you actually believe that the victims you killed were witches? Matthew, did you actually believe that the victims you killed were witches?
Attention, broken woman.
You just said wood. Is your body a little bit further this way?
Really
Nothing too crazy.
It sounded like a no, like a no.
Uh-huh. Alright, let's do one more. Well, let's have you get in here.
The ladies were all near his grave.
We could try.
If there's no ladies here, you two will do.
Whoa!
For lack of
Shots
anyone
fired! Holy shit!
Straight through the heart.
That was unexpectedly savage. I think the ghost of Matthew Hopkins just possessed him for a
He's
second.
just pissing himself laughing now, isn't he?
Dude, this said temperature broken glass. Hear me, pay attention, 2070.
Weird, it said broken glass.
Mm-hmm. So, can you clearly say yes if Matthew Hopkins is buried near where we're standing?
Matthew, does the name John Stern mean anything to you? Elizabeth Clark? She your... Did you hear that then? Matthew, Elizabeth Clark was a witch. She was meeting in the pub next door to your house. Did you take her from the pub? You got her to confess to being a witch. She named 5 other people. Were you acting in the name of religion? Did you die alone in Manningtree? We're going to go to your house. Are you going to follow us?
It said, I won't lie to you. Not true and experienced.
There was like 3 noises from back in there, weren't there?
There was also from behind you guys.
Yeah.
Did you hear the movement behind you?
And there's no animals here.
Going to get out of the grave.
Oh.
That's all I could get. Someone scratching to get out.
I will go. Your last.
I'm angry.
Your last question was, are you going to follow us there?
Look it said, I will go, I'm angry.
Why are you angry?
That was weird when I asked too if he's buried here. We didn't get it on camera, but that paralight went blue. All right.
Sure, let's listen.
I'll let you hold it, my friend.
So, can you clearly say yes if Matthew Hopkins is buried near where we're standing? We're going to go to your house. Are you going to follow us?
What was that?
What was that at the very end?
What was that?
Like laughing.
And that's when these came through on these devices.
That sounded like
cackling,
laughing, exactly like
That's
a
when
witch's
it
laugh.
said, I'm angry and I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
All right, let's do. He's dangerous, it says.
Yeah.
And what? Fury?
He's dangerous.
Oh.
Instant death, fully.
Here, I can
He's
take that one.
dangerous.
Let's just ask.
Come back, Elton, all's forgiven.
Is he angry because there's women here?
Mm.
You heard that, right?
What was that?
That man shout.
I heard someone say get out.
I heard get out.
Yeah, get
Have
out.
to get out.
Yeah.
Well, you think that's the owner?
Do you think that's the owner?
No, they're nowhere here.
I actually heard get out.
No, I literally said have to get out.
Get out.
Follow him.
No, there's nobody around.
I just heard it again.
Yeah, I heard it again.
Go away.
Exactly.
I heard it again.
Ooh.
But over that,
I mean, that was loud.
There's women here.
Mm.
you heard that, right?
What was that?
That man shout.
I heard someone say get out.
I heard get out.
Yeah, get
have
out.
to get out.
Yeah.
You think that's the owner?
Do you think that's the owner?
No, they're nowhere here.
I actually heard, get out.
No, I literally said, have to get out.
Get out.
Follow him.
I heard.
You gotta get out.
Go away.
And then
I
the
heard
second
get
time.
out, but it was really angry.
Yeah.
It was like, get out.
And then
then-
the second time it was like,
Go. And then it went, go away. Yeah.
Jesus.
whatever that is. I don't like it. Yeah, I'm still recording.
Oh,
Definitely heard the same
right,
thing.
ladies, shall we stand on where we think his grave is? Come on, Matthew. Come on.
Chivalrous. You are wrong. Be very, very careful.
Is that a warning to me then? Is that a warning to us and the other ladies?
No, good, nobody around.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I just fell down this hill. What the fuck? That was crazy. Have to get out. And yeah, this is just woods right here.
Yeah, it's just where the church was, it's just overgrown.
Oh, that's trippy.
No, nobody about, the gate's locked.
What the fuck? That was crazy. Have to get out. Well, it sounded kind of angry.
And he said he was going to follow us.
Yeah, so that's great. Well, good for the evidence later, I guess. It got colder all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's almost like
Doesn't it feel like that?
standing in front of a freezer door.
Yeah.
Not a breeze, it's just like a temperature drop.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, quickly it got colder.
It really wasn't him?
Nobody there at all. We've done a full lap round. The gates
Did
are
you hear the
shut.
second time?
Yeah.
No, we didn't hear a second.
It was literally like, you've got to get out. And then when y'all walked around the corner, it was like, ha ha ha, go away. All of us heard that.
We heard it.
How did we not hear it?
It definitely came from that way.
Seriously, though, how did we not hear that?
That's what I mean. It was
lit-
so loud.
Right after y'all had gone around the corner, we heard it again.
And we were just saying it got colder too all of a sudden. Like, I could feel it.
No breeze or nothing, it's just almost like you've walked into a...
Like someone's walked over your grave. Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy actually.
That
we
was
never hear
really
voices
loud.
like that.
It went, get out. And then it was, ha ha ha, go away.
And of all messages, get out
Three
and...
of us heard it.
Yeah.
Because I thought, oh, is a dog walker or someone out? But there's no one here.
No.
No, there's nobody. It's literally completely silent.
I can't believe you
Three of
didn't
us
hear the
heard
second
it.
one.
No.
The second
No,
one
I-
It
sounded
was
louder.
it was just as loud, wasn't it? The second one was just as loud.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Neither of us. We were just walking.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh, we just heard like a sound like someone was talking. We heard precisely what they were saying.
Yeah. It was so clear. You know when sometimes you get an EVP and you have to listen to it a couple of times. It was so clear.
Whatever the get out was.
I wish we were rolling on the
really-
DR60.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll be able to hear that on the microphone. I'm still
that was
recording.
loud as shit.
You'll probably be able to hear the second one.
That's crazy. We did not hear anything.
No. So the first one, they thought, oh, we'll go and investigate. And
Yeah.
Then just, no. So,
And as you went off to look, that's when the second voice came.
No, seriously, right when y'all went around the corner over there.
nothing.
And it was weird because we didn't have like lights or anything, so our one sense would have really been hearing. You know,
Yeah.
he had that little dinky flashlight.
It's nearly dead.
I didn't mean to insult your flashlight, man.
All right, don't encourage him. I think we should head to the woods.
All right. Well, all right, Matthew, or anybody here, but specifically Matthew Hopkins, feel free to follow us to our next location because we want to have a chat.
Yeah, if you're really angry, come show us that you're angry.
You can scratch Paul.
Yeah, knock him over. Dunk him in the pond.
Give him a dunk.
I'd probably sink.
We'll tie him up for you.
All right, guys. So this is going to be a weird episode structurally with the different ghost hunts and the different spots that we're going to. But right now we are in the tavern on the ground floor of, this is the tavern / pub where Matthew Hopkins yanked that first witch and led her over to the other place we were just at, where she was sleep deprived, essentially tortured into making a confession. We have been on the hunt for this ghost, the ghost of Matthew Hopkins, all night now, and it's really crazy that no one has really taken this journey this far, especially considering how robust the story is and how insane this history is. It's just mind-blowing. And when Connor and I had the opportunity to do this video, we knew that you guys would love the history here. And it really is crazy that no one knows a lot about this guy, especially nobody would know Matthew Hopkins, I'm sure, outside of England. And this is crazy. He's responsible for the deaths of hundreds of innocent people. We're here and we're about to investigate. But Connor, what are your thoughts, man?
I just got a mosquito. Absolutely crazy story. We did the Pendle Witches, we did Gallows Hill, and that was a relatively small amount of witches that were caught and hung. This is over 300 victims just from this one guy. He's going town to town all around this area and just getting a payday for killing these witches. I mean, snagging an old woman out of here with one eye, one leg, and just like walking down the street being like, oh, she's a witch. It's crazy to go back in time and like see that happen, and like nobody batted an eye. They're like, oh, good for that guy, he caught one. But I mean, this story is absolutely insane. So I mean, we've already caught some pretty insane evidence tonight, and I think we're gonna find some more.
Well,
I caught another one.
Well, we have the whole squad over here waiting to begin the investigation. Oh my god, what a crew. Bunch of familiar faces, some of whom we were hoping not to see again.
I knew it was going to be me. I knew he was going to say me.
Well, you guys have ghost hunted here before, and by the way, we love him, so I just want to say that because I think we hurt his feelings there. What are the paranormal responses that you guys have captured here? Anything interesting?
This is personally one of my favourite locations to do the ghost hunts, the ghost walks. When we come on it, obviously the history behind it as well. It's really tapping into a weird part of obviously time gone by. Loads of different paranormal activity happens in here, doesn't it, Paul?
This guy, he killed us.
Oh shit.
Yep.
It's always here as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Always this spot.
Yeah.
The oldest part of the pub.
Yeah, and right at the other side of that wall was Matthew Hopkins' house.
So where would Elizabeth have been sinning?
It's probably difficult to ascertain where she was. It would be, I guess, probably on the ground floor. And if they were having a sort of secret meeting, if you like, what better place than where we are now?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You can feel the energy in here.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
And it feels very heavy in here. Like the air is way more dense.
All right.
4 spirits.
Was that 4 spirits?
Don't shout. Oh, look at that. All right. To whoever's here with us right now, any spirits here in the Red Lion, whether it's Elizabeth, Matthew, their house was next door. Oh, shit. You see that? All the way to red. Matthew, is that you? Can you do that again?
Forgive me.
We just want to introduce ourselves. And this one's spiked too over here. My name's Colin.
My name's Bradley.
Lauren.
My name's Connor.
I'm Paul.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Andrea.
Lori. Weird to say a name. If there's somebody here with us, you've probably had people try and come talk to you.
Outdoors.
Outdoors. His garden's there.
Oh shit, his house.
We've done Estes in his garden before, so.
We just want to know who you are and what kind of a mark Matthew Hopkins left on this building. You probably know how to use those devices. Just, it's right when I say Matthew Hopkins, it's the
The number 7.
If you go touch any of these devices like this, it'll show us that you're here. So can somebody give us a sign that you're here with us?
Yes, I can.
Alright, give us a sign then.
Are you ready?
There was just a tap then, did you hear
Did
it?
you hear it? Yeah.
We are ready.
This one keeps spiking too.
They're not spiking together, though, are they?
No, it's weird. Chloral platinate?
You know what that word is, right, Paul?
Oh shit, look, there it goes.
Hello, if there's anyone here, any spirits that are around that can hear my voice, we don't mean you any harm. We've come into this area with great respect. We just want to know you're there. Could you maybe make a noise or a sound? Could you come close and speak to us? Maybe tell us your name. You've been seen walking around this building. Different energies roam around. Can you come and tell us where you are? Maybe why you're here.
She lied. Oh, and all the way to...
Go back there.
Go back where?
She lied, go back there and notice? Gilchrist.
Are you hearing something?
Twice I've heard a voice from back there.
Yeah.
Going, like that. Twice.
Like agreeing? Or...
Yeah, like a...
Just like you've just done
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
There again.
Is there somebody back there?
Did you hear it again?
Yeah, there's one lady, but wasn't it?
Does the name Matthew Hopkins mean anything to you?
Anxiety.
My car. It's my car registration plate. Don't you touch my car. You don't mess with my car.
Instead.
Yeah, I've just had the brakes done. It's fine.
Elizabeth, are you here?
Yeah, it's that.
Oh my god, this thing's going crazy.
My life was short.
Yeah, it was.
Cometh.
Cometh?
I swear to fucking God, cometh. Fire. Did any of the witches ever burn?
That was Scotland. Yeah. Used to burn them up there. We hung them.
You guys
I
ever-
approve I'm here.
Go on ahead. We won't stop you.
Junket.
Come
What
on.
was that then?
Yeah, I heard that.
Like,
Yeah.
Inscrutably.
did we just hear somebody tapping?
True.
True.
Who is that making the noise?
Relation.
Matthew, are you here with us? Can you make a noise? Or give us some sort of a sign?
Both.
Both of them, yeah, this one too. Oh, that's really weird. This says
Car crash.
This says drive on here, and then this said car crash.
Don't look at me. I'm not getting in my car. I'm going to get someone to pick me up.
Anxiety.
Might leave my car here tonight.
Not a bad idea.
False positive.
As long as you come back here.
Beware of the man.
Oh,
These
what
are
man?
Yeah. Who have we got to be aware of? Is Matthew Hopkins on the hunt for more witches?
You missed one, Matthew.
Are you still trying to rid the area of evil?
It's
Getting
weird.
a bit of ringing in my ears.
It's weird that you have the anxiety registration, and then it says drive car crash.
Yeah,
and
I'm
you
a bit
have,
concerned about that now. Yeah.
well, you have the shirt on right now, making fun of Matthew Hopkins.
Oh, I'm not making fun. No.
You told him he missed one and you're the one.
That's
yeah,
true.
My husband is convinced because I feel a real in this area. I've always lived around this area and I really like this area. And Gary, my husband, really does think that possibly I was one of the ladies that Matthew dragged off to Chelmsford because he was just, in a past life. And when I was up earlier and we were up near his grave, it felt so strange standing on top of where,
It was
like, your nemesis. It was me. Right, was it? So I was on your grave then, and then, you know, our life goes round in cycles, everything goes round with cycles, but maybe I am on another cycle. And that when we do paranormal investigations, there's a little bit of humour, but you do have to take it seriously, and we are trying to find explanations for things we can't explain. And maybe us coming back on a cycle and going round and round, you can reconnect with something in a past life. So yeah, there is a serious side to it, but I'm a bit anxious about getting in my car tonight. I'm not going to say, but...
Can you show us what your shirt says? Just to
My
point
shirt?
that out.
Yes, so it's Malin-Tree 1644, and Matthew, you missed one, and Malin-Tree Witches 1644. But not far from here at Colchester Castle there is a memorial plaque because 300 people, men and women, mostly women, lost their lives due to Matthew Hopkins.
Is there a bit of blue kit back there? Because something just flashed blue.
I saw that too.
1200s.
And
It's not, I thought it was...
we don't...
It's not.
1200 possibly, but we don't make a big thing of Matthew Hopkins in Malin-Tree. It's not like Pendle where there's a big tourist industry. There's nothing here because it is a dark history, and there was only recently put a plaque in Colchester Castle to pardon all those people that he had put to death, because he didn't kill the people himself, he was responsible for them going to trial. But did you know in Suffolk it's still legal to burn witches in Suffolk? That's still a legal law. So I mean, I'm not going across there at the moment, but
Mate, an Englishman's allowed to shoot a Welshman in the what is it, the walls
In
of
the walls
Chester,
of Chester on a Sunday with a longbow.
Still true.
all right. I'm not doing much on Sunday.
Planchette.
That's true.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
This just said Nemesis.
So, you know, Gary says I'm the missing one, kind of humorous, but we don't know. We could have gone round in a cycle and...
There's lots going off now.
Yeah.
It's like right where you start. Catch a lot. Pollux. Catch a lot.
Follower. Trapped.
So has everything suddenly decided to...
Why don't you ask a question?
Matthew Hopkins, are you proud of what you did? You did this under the name of religion, didn't you? You were religious, and we should respect that you were religious, and I think there was a big part of you that felt you had to cleanse this area, but you enjoyed what you did as well, didn't you? Don't know what that means.
What's your name?
You know my name.
Esme.
Possibly was.
It could have been in a
It
past
could have
life.
been. It could have been. Yeah, it could have been.
That's such a strange name to put on.
That's a very
Really?
old English
Yeah.
name as well. That is a very old English name.
That's strange.
Esme.
You enjoyed it though, didn't you, Matthew?
Here.
Cold in here.
Shot.
What did he say?
Cold in here.
Inspire.
Who inspired you, Matthew? Who told you to do this?
Greedy.
Yes, you were.
Inspired by money.
He was, because he got paid per lady.
That's crazy. Greedy?
Yeah, inspired, greedy. Matthew, if this is you, can you give us some sort of a sign? Maybe touch one of our devices if you participated in these witch hunts because of the money?
People were uneducated, very superstitious, and it was easy to manipulate uneducated people into any bad luck was being done by
Greedy again.
the lady down the road rather than the natural way things happen.
Right.
I mean, I think it's
Really?
kind of crazy it says greedy twice.
I think he was greedy for the fame and he was greedy for the money. Because his reputation spread. Do you like the ladies being here, Matthew?
This thing just died.
It's just gone off, doesn't it?
Yeah, right when you were talking, this thing just died.
How do you feel about ladies being here now?
Nope.
Violence.
You
Nope.
feel violence because ladies are here.
And he said nope, like he doesn't like it.
You don't like me, Matthew.
You must help.
Who have I got to help? Oh, we're both going on. Is there someone here who needs help? Matthew, how many ladies are here?
Danny.
Did you hear that then?
What did you hear?
Just like a...
I heard no.
If that was you that made that tap, can you make it louder?
Wait and see.
Wow.
I'd like to wait and see.
Come on, Matthew, move something. Are you angry that there's ladies here?
Couldn't help. Couldn't help. What?
Couldn't help what now?
You must help. Couldn't help.
Who is this? Can you tell us something about yourself? Or maybe how about knock once like this? If you're a man, knock twice like this. If you're a woman. Could you try to knock, please, whoever this is? Just once for a man, twice if you're a woman? Despair.
Is that what the ladies felt, Matthew? Despair? And did you enjoy that?
Horrific.
Horrific.
It probably was, because they were kept in Colchester Castle.
You look like you got a question. So you look like you got a question.
I'm alright, I'm chilled. How's everyone feel? Do you feel?
Look at this.
Holy shit!
All the way to the top.
Oh my
He
god.
obviously wants to speak to you. Go on, Bradley.
Yeah.
Go on.
Come on, bud.
If there's anyone here, can you make a noise? The energy, the spirit of Matthew Hopkins. You're supposed to have lived next door. Used to come in this place for a drink.
Demonstrate.
You must have spoke to people in here, unhappy about witchcraft being taken place in your village. Is it true? You murdered up to 300 people. You sent them to the gallows.
Dry.
Do you still haunt this building?
Did you hear that?
Right here.
I heard that.
What the hell?
Little boy.
And there. That was
Sarah?
loud.
Is there a little boy here? Okay, so that's 3.
right.
Helen Clark without an E was a witch that was captured.
Yeah.
It's Elizabeth Clark had an E. Helen Clark didn't have an E.
She was a part of the cold chest. These.
Yes, and we've made contact with her on more than 3 or 4 occasions. Helen Clark.
Fuck.
I've been waiting for her name to come through.
Wait, she doesn't have a knee?
Hmm?
She doesn't have a knee.
No, E on.
Oh. You were saying
it's just one straight leg.
I was like, what the hell are you talking about, man?
Helen, she doesn't have a knee. That's why she's a witch.
Alright, I get it now.
Elizabeth Clark had an E on the end of her name, but she only had 1 leg, so she probably didn't have a knee.
She had 1 knee.
She only had 1 knee.
I hope she had 2.
Helen Clark was no relation, didn't have an E on the end of her name, but her Helen always comes through here.
She didn't have a knee.
Straight leg.
He's starting to think, what the fuck's that got to do with anything? I've got a knee.
Like he was just going after crippled people.
Yeah.
First old lady didn't have a leg.
Yeah.
Second lady didn't have a knee.
No finger, you're dead.
Church.
Despair conditions.
It is despair, yeah.
Church.
Yeah, old faces.
Text. My life was short.
Yeah, twice. Again, that's twice my life was short.
How old were you when you died? Can you tell us how old you were? Can you do that again?
She scares me.
Who scares you?
Matthew Hopkins had 2 assistants. They were both females. One was called Rebecca, and the other one was called. It'll come to me in a minute. But they helped undress the women and search for the skin spots.
He had 2 female assistants?
Mm-hmm.
So what was their motivation for doing it then? Was it money?
Yeah.
Yeah, just money.
And
can you explain that? Because you never said that.
It's only just come to me. Yeah, apart from John Stern, Matthew Hopkins also had 2 female assistants that he employed to help obtain a confession, and that they would usually search the body of the person for these skin marks for John Stern to go and prick their.
How many knees did they have?
They had lots of knees.
Without a knee. Bro, that was so funny.
I lost it.
The knee?
I think we've lost it as well.
Sorry.
There's just no need.
Wait, old taps? Like beer taps?
Yeah, it says old taps.
Come on, if you're there, if you can hear our voices, can you walk towards them? Come and speak to us. Please come out of the shadows. If you're a man, could you make a noise so we can hear it? If you're a lady, could you make a sound?
Did you hear that?
What was that?
That was here.
Was it you?
No.
Was it your belly?
It was
Stay
here.
and talk.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a.
I heard that.
Yeah.
It was literally from
Yeah,
over
that
there.
wasn't.
Because I looked and thought.
Stay
Pray
and
for
talk.
me.
It says stay and talk.
And pray for me.
Oh, honey.
So, would this be Helen?
Could be Helen.
Is that the name of the spirit we're talking to?
Okay, too.
Can you tell us again what your name is, please?
Call out.
My name's Bradley. Can you tell us what yours is? Come and stand next to us. Come and tell us.
Helen, if you're here, you always ask us to do something. Can you ask us tonight?
Drama.
Did you hear that?
1800s.
Oh, that's someone's stomach.
Was it?
That's so crazy.
Where's the power line?
That was you. That was you.
Did you see the geophone go
Yes.
off?
That was so loud. No, did you see the foot? Yeah, Faz, I thought it was your foot.
No, Because... But it
No,
did
it
that
wasn't.
and that went off.
They killed me.
I got
I
that on
thought it was your
camera.
foot, but
No,
it's a
I thought
different
so,
sound. It was more of a...
Yeah, because if...
Yeah.
The jail phone.
Somebody upstairs. They just put the light out in the stairwell.
Alright, I have to stop the footage here for a second to point this out to you guys. Basically, in the footage that I just played you can hear the sound of a knock or some sort of a noise on the table. You can see the EMF meter light up, but you can see that nobody moves. Just take another look.
Where's the pair light?
That was you.
Where's the pair light?
That was you.
Where's the pair light?
That was you.
And they killed me.
Who killed you? And who is this?
Did somebody just tap on the table like this? Can you do it again? Just copy that.
You heard that, right?
Yeah.
It was like exactly the same noise.
Oh, these fucking meters are crazy, dude.
Helen, if that's you, can you do this?
Sinister threats. Is that like wording that Matthew Hopkins would use? Like these witches are sinister threats?
He's a sinister threat
Mm.
to people, and his threats would be sinister, so it could be either he would be seen as a sinister threat.
What was that?
Can you hear a man? That
Did
was
you
a
hear
man
that?
talking.
What'd you hear?
Like a man
Sounded-
murmur.
Yeah, like a. It was exactly like that. A man murmur. It sounded like it was there.
And it went... "Mm."
Was that you that made that noise? Thank you. Can you make it louder?
What was that then?
That was scratching.
It was like,
Yeah, but that's what we heard a few minutes ago, isn't it? When we said it was like that. That's the same.
Thank you. If that was you that made it louder. Can you tap twice if you're male?
Conjuring.
Conjuring.
Want you to come forward and make a noise. The energy of Matthew Hopkins, the Witchfinder General, used to live close to where we are. You died here. We're asking you to come forward and show yourself to us.
My name is William.
Did you die in this building? Make a sound so we can hear it. Copy this noise.
They will scratch.
They will scratch.
Brown. My last name. B-R-O-W-N.
Matthew, if you're here, I know a lot of witches. If you come talk to us, I might tell you who they are. Oh, they start spiking when I said that.
Oh, nuts.
Warm.
It keeps saying like hot,
Warm, fire.
Is that because it's quite warm where he is at the moment then?
That's what we thought.
You know.
It is weird though. This says
Bungs.
bungs. Fuck is a bung?
It's
That's Bradley.
money on money under the table.
What is
It's a
that?
sly money.
It's a bribe.
It's a
isn't
bribe.
Really?
A bung.
A bung?
Yeah,
Bung somewhere.
you bung someone some money.
Wait, is that this? Okay, this is honestly gonna sound stupid, but is that what a bung hole is?
No, bunghole is a
Like a hole you slide bribes through?
a bunghole is the hole in a barrel, in a wooden barrel.
What the fuck is a bung? That's crazy. Alright. Yes. Sorry.
We have a word for everything, man.
Yeah, seriously.
We literally have a
Holy
word for everything.
Yeah, you had me scared when the first time you said I took a slash. I'm like, a slash?
Oh, yeah.
Why would you do that? Like I took a slash in front of this woman. She's probably scared to death of me. I'm like, well, why would you do that to a woman?
I'm went for a piss. That's what I meant.
I thought you were like swinging a knife at her.
No, but she fucking walked right down and saw me as I was there. She saw the Prince thingy. The full Prince Albert.
Ginger.
Matthew's energy, we really just want to try figure out why you were personally motivated to carry out these witch hunts.
I heard it again. Did you hear
What'd you hear?
Did you hear that?
It was like a whine.
It was a woman, right?
Yeah, it was a whine. Ooh, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Sad.
Hold out your hand.
That's interesting. It says sad, lonely here, hold out your hand. It also makes me think like someone's just sad and they want someone to hold their hand.
Dying on your own next door, you'd want that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If you're alone, coughing up blood on your deathbed.
Well, that's what happens when you kill 300 people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel too sorry for you.
Did you hear that then?
Yeah, breath. Yeah, it was like a...
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What was that?
I heard that. It went,
It sounds
like a whistle.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like that almost.
Susan.
Are you one of the ladies that was accused of being a witch by that horrible man?
All these are hitting at the same time. Both of those I'm watching hit. Look at that.
Company.
Do you see that? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. You're welcome to come close to us. Are you trying to get our attention?
Holy shit.
We want to know why Matthew Hopkins did this.
No, was that me, or was there a light that just came up from that table and went up and then just stopped? Or was that just me? No one else saw that.
Aggressive.
A little white light came up from the table.
I didn't see that.
Looking towards Colin.
That's crazy though. You seem to be connected.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, but I just saw a white light came from the table and it went, I don't know, 1 or 12, 18 inches high and then stopped. And it was right in front of Bradley.
Have you two done
Here.
the Estes before?
Me and Colin?
Yeah?
Well, yeah, we do it every video.
No.
Yeah.
At the same time, together, while being filmed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You film yourself doing it?
No, we set up tripods.
Before he makes this comment, people on YouTube, would you rather see Connor and I do the Estes or Paul and Bradley, who have never done the Estes? They've never done the Estes.
But I'm thinking,
Who do you guys want to do it more?
if we put you two under and film it, we can ask you questions, and you don't know what we're asking. But
Yeah,
the
the
viewers
same
will
thing
know.
back.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it
I
works.
think you guys
Yeah,
are,
but-
what, are you scared? What's going on?
Well, why don't we do paper, rock, scissors, 1 and 1?
You've never done the Estes?
No, I haven't either.
No, I haven't.
No, I've never done it.
And some tour guides there
Tell you what,
telling
See,
people how
there's
to
a lot
do
of
it.
firsts in this video.
My 10-year-old kid's done it. And I've
I
done
would- bitch out now.
Yeah, I wouldn't admit to that,
He's done
man.
it, man. He's, my kid's hardcore, man.
Yeah, the dad, not so much.
Before we go outside and do the Estes, is there anything else you'd like to say or do for us? Good behavior.
Good boy.
Are you going to come with us? K2's everything stopped.
Yeah.
Like, we were going to say you're going to come with us. They're like out there waiting.
That
For
is
you.
really strange.
For you. For me.
What was that?
I heard that.
Did you hear the voice?
I heard
It was
that.
like a...
It's like
Yeah.
a woman's
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
Helen, do you want to talk to us?
Probably not.
Alright, my bad.
She knows you then, doesn't she? She knows you.
Someone's got a reputation. That's good.
Matthew, is there anything else you want to say before we do this?
That was so loud.
Here.
Inquiry here. Wait, wouldn't that be like what he did?
An inquiry into, yeah.
Inquiry here.
Those are two
This
big
is-
words for us.
That's the very first like time he inquired, if you will, into fucking witches.
Yeah.
You know? And it was here.
I bet it's proper weird for you guys, considering Salem and everything. And it pretty much started in these tiny little villages and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Ugly.
Ugly. Hey, don't call him that.
He does his
let's
best.
not go there, for. I said the NHS was free, not plastic surgery. Do you know what I mean?
Whenever you talk about Matthew,
It peaks, doesn't
it peaks, and it's also like negative words that come through. So it makes you wonder if it's him or if it's a victim.
Yeah. That's what makes me think it's like maybe a woman listening and we're shouting out, you know, for Matthew asking if he's here, and maybe it's one of the ladies listening.
Travel. We're not bad.
We're not bad.
We know you're not.
He lost. We're not bad. He lost.
He did die.
We know you're not witches.
No, they weren't bad. They were just on the edge of society, weren't they? The burdens on the village. The odd people, the odd ones out.
Yeah, a bit like Kelly today. Odd burden in society.
But she means well.
Yeah. Bless her.
She can make a cup of tea. And a bacon sandwich.
At least you've got a knee.
Alright, should we do an S's?
Yeah. We can do it upstairs really quick. Alright, we're upstairs right now in the tavern. Everybody else is outside. It's just Connor and I. And we're going to do a DR60 session. Matthew, are you here with us right now?
Matthew, can you tell me, did you do it all for the money?
Elizabeth, you were taken from here. What happened?
What made you choose these women?
Was Matthew Hopkins an evil man?
How many people was Matthew Hopkins responsible for their deaths? That's such a fucking stupid way to ask that. How many people was Matthew
Hopkins responsible for their death? Oh, that was funny.
You know what I'm saying.
Matthew,
Yo. Sounds like it says Matthew. Doesn't it sound like it says
Matthew,
Yo.
are you here with us right now? Matthew, are you here with us right now? Matthew, can you tell me, did you do it all for the money? Elizabeth, you were taken from here. What happened? What made you choose these women? Was Matthew Hopkins an evil man? How many people was Matthew Hopkins responsible for their death?
There's a bunch of like little whispers in there.
Let's do one more.
Okay. I'll ask smart questions this time.
If Matthew Hopkins is here, can you please say his name? Matthew Hopkins?
Is the spirit of Elizabeth, Matthew's first victim, here?
Did Matthew Hopkins enjoy watching his victims die?
Was Matthew only doing this for the money?
Did Matthew really believe that his victims were real witches? Every single one of them?
If Matthew Hopkins is here, can you please say his name?
What's up, Jim?
No, just see how we were doing.
We're just listening to this session, and then we're gonna go do the Estes with you guys. You want to listen with us? Listen to this one first. Doesn't it sound like it says Matthew?
Right there before.
Yeah.
Isn't that creepy?
Yeah.
That was before we even started asking the questions.
If Matthew Hopkins is here, can you please say his name? Matthew Hopkins? Is the spirit of Elizabeth, Matthew's first victim, here? Did Matthew Hopkins enjoy watching his victims die?
Like laughing.
Was Matthew only doing this for the money? Did Matthew really believe that his victims were real witches? Every single one of them?
Bunch of
laugh.
Yeah.
There was a laugh, and I think that it said Matthew.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, when we go back through editing, we'll have to listen through it again. Because I was hearing like little things.
Oh yeah, there's a lot in there, but we're gonna go do the Estes.
Get up out of here.
You ready, buddy?
We're born ready.
Right now, we are outside of the tavern. This is the area where Matthew Hopkins had his house, which is obviously no longer here. And this would also be the approximate location where Matthew Hopkins died. So we're doing an experiment tonight, a dual Estes session. And Paul and I are going to ask questions. And anyone else that's over there, you guys can also chime in.
Mama.
It said mom like 4 times earlier. You probably know us by now, but can you tell us who you are? Say your name.
Increasingly close.
You close by to us now? Is this the very area where you lost your life? You died? Can you look around and tell us what you can see?
Now.
Maybe you can tell us whereabouts you're standing?
You're already there.
Cupboard.
We're already in the place that you died. Are we
No possibility.
Are we talking to Matthew?
You.
It could have been like a year, too.
Oh, yeah.
I did it.
What did you do? Can you tell us what you did?
I'm here.
I'm here.
Do you mind us being here?
Yeah. So Matthew, you're here with us now?
Come on.
Where?
Filthy beggars.
You talking about the women that are present? Is that what you think of the women?
Don't want to feel.
So how did you pick out your targets for your witch hunts? What did you look for in a witch?
Entry. Over.
They shoplifted something.
Didn't you just say something about beggars or something?
He said filthy beggars.
Yeah. So did you go after poor people mainly? Just destitute individuals, down on their luck women, sometimes men?
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Is that the scale of men to women, 1 to 10?
Think.
I traveled and she doesn't.
You travelled where?
Come on.
I'm helping.
You feel like you helped the people of England by getting rid of the witches?
Holiday. Got a lot of issues.
Do you feel guilty about what you did?
Out of my mind.
Is that what you're trying to justify what you did? You were out of your mind?
You have a point.
Search your bill.
Both.
You trying to make a point?
General mayhem.
That's what you caused on your travels around the southeast of England. The name Matthew Hopkins struck fear.
Which comes.
Do you remember the name of one of the women or men that was accused and executed?
Look at me. Keep.
Don't care.
Don't care about their names.
The names meant nothing, did they? They were just evil in your eyes.
Would have been so confusing.
A part of it.
I'm saying you're it.
Kind of.
So Matthew, did you actually believe that these women were witches? Did you genuinely believe they had supernatural powers?
Maybe.
I've seen reflections.
Earlier it said broken glass.
Yeah.
What do you mean by broken glass and reflections?
The demented girl.
Was she one of your victims?
It might be bad.
Did you kill all these people in the name of religion?
Chains and whips.
Have the chance.
Did you think killing those witches would get you sent to heaven?
The place is sweet.
Have it all.
Have it all when you get to heaven?
Go away.
You want us
Heaven.
No fucking way.
Description.
These dreams in my head.
Has.
So he was killing for religion. It really sounds like.
Yeah.
Why? Power.
And power.
And power.
Did you ever feel guilty?
It's peaceful.
Working class.
Did you ever feel guilty watching the people you had sent to be executed as they were murdered? Did you ever feel bad for being responsible?
The last time I come.
Have you seen us tonight at your grave?
Me. Ha 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 ha.
That's what he did at the grave.
I'm surprised.
And that's what just happened on the DR60.
Yeah.
We just got that laugh too.
Matthew, are you mocking us?
No witnesses.
You'd like to?
Are you angry that we're trying to expose the truth behind your story, that those women weren't witches? And you were just nothing but a murderer?
Honestly,
The old
a lot
ego.
of the blame.
The older you get, a lot of the blame.
You listening?
Are you talking to us? If you want to talk to us, we'll listen. Now's your chance to tell us your story.
Like to.
Do it then.
Why is it still waiting on the side?
It's interesting because it sounds like he's still trying to justify it.
Mm.
And that's what he did in his book before.
Yeah.
So how did you justify sending those women and men
The child. Year-old.
and a kid?
Many things.
Tell us the reasons you used to justify
Colonel Harris.
Because we'll listen and we'll hear you out. Why did you feel it was right to have those people killed?
How would it look, though?
Visit.
Under pressure.
I want my family back. That's all.
I had nowhere to go.
That sucks.
Where are your family now, Matthew? Have they disowned you?
Not a good thing. What's your advice? What should that be?
You should confess, Matthew. That's the advice. Confess.
You did a proper good. Friends was no.
I fucked up.
In ways that you know.
You fucked up in ways that we know.
That's crazy.
So we know the truth about you, Matthew.
Does it make you angry that we know the truth?
Lovely.
Have you ever smoked? Your auntie.
What happened to John?
My personality, because...
He influenced your personality?
Like...
Was John Stern the driving force behind the Witchfinder General?
I did bad.
Do you ever think of your poor victims? Poor Elizabeth?
Out.
Don't deserve it. The prices were high.
You set the prices, Matthew.
In my head.
It was a mixture of you wanted to do this for God, but also you liked the money.
Felt right.
I get a weird vibe. I feel like he's actually here.
Yeah.
Like the presence of something here.
In my head.
Sounds like
absolute pleasures.
It sounds like he's even acknowledging that he was like delusional.
Where are you?
And all this stuff about in my head and thought it was right and
out of my mind, and yeah.
It's like a guilt-ridden mind.
Almost trying to justify it to himself that he was crazy.
Yeah. Do you still believe you're somewhat innocent?
The Bible.
The Bible made you think...
One question.
We can ask you one question, we can ask you why.
At that time.
It satisfies.
Is that why you did it? It satisfies?
Never.
You were never satisfied?
Belief in the night.
It's almost like he's questioning his own religious beliefs too. I wonder if he ever did that. Were you disappointed that you couldn't continue killing witches?
Others before that.
I think that.
If you had been given the chance, would you have murdered? Would you have...
Money?
More money? If you had been given more money, would you have sent more witches to the hanging
Given me a minute.
I want to know if you would
Don't stop.
Continued murdering witches and purging evil. Not even for the money. Would you have been doing
It's what we're talking about.
I think he would have.
Yeah, that was quite aggressive.
Why did he stop?
Zebra.
He stopped because the higher ups of the church started to question his motives and why he was doing what he was doing, because he took out a reverend.
It's the taxes.
Well,
won't be able to.
Now, wouldn't that make sense too with the questioning religion angle? If the higher ups in the church are questioning his moral
and a park
and interpretations of all the biblical witchcraft.
Yeah.
Did you?
I died.
Go. You can't manage.
Did you disagree with the church's thoughts on witchcraft changing and how they told you had to stop hunting? You had to stop hunting witches?
15 quid.
They questioned your methods, didn't they?
They knew.
They knew what you were doing. And they told you to stop.
Oh. Help me.
A poison.
I've been waiting for help me. Help me comes out all the time.
I'm not playing.
Do you think it's Matthew Hopkins asking for help?
It'd be interesting to see if Brad I can remember it was a man's voice or a woman's voice, because we do.
I didn't even know.
We get a lot of.
Looks like it's going.
A women's voice saying, "Help me."
I was being elusive.
Heaven's right here.
But you can't get into heaven. Why is that?
I've been.
Many challenges.
Into heaven, there's many.
To fate.
Maybe you can't fully cross over because you haven't confessed to what you did in full.
You never miss it.
Will you right now admit to us out loud that what you did was wrong?
I'm sure.
Clearly in those words, you could say, I was wrong, it was wrong, terrible.
Dangerous.
Continue with the confession.
First pot.
Do you still think what you did was right? I'm getting laughed at a lot tonight. Are you mocking us, Matthew? Perhaps you were pure evil.
I saw the light.
You believe.
This is so weird, dude.
Flat.
Who gets to say?
Nothing. We think you're pure evil. We have that say now. You have no power now.
And why aren't you allowed to go into heaven? You keep saying that.
Hungry.
What is stopping you? Can you tell us? Maybe we can try help.
In the sky.
You know?
Because for artificial.
Ugh. I'm freezing right now. That wasn't very faithful, was it?
Faithful to your religion?
You are. Hi there.
Well, we've done about 20 minutes. You want to ask a couple more and then go to the forest?
Matthew, once you
What the fuck?
Yeah, we're going to the forest. Do you still walk the streets, the roads and the highways and the woodland of Manningtree and Misterley? Are you still the Witchfinder General?
Arriving. Seems
worthy.
So.
You're worthy of the title.
Even though it was a title you made up for yourself?
Fallen.
These poor persecuted souls that were living in these two villages went in hiding up to the woods. Do you still go
I think
up?
so.
They did, yeah. Are you still walking the woods?
Personal position.
Of course.
We're going to communicate with the poor persecuted souls.
Is it dangerous to go up to those woods, to the tree?
Everywhere as well. What about the gap? Tell your friends.
Do you still hunt for witches near the 1,000-year oak?
Something I've been doing.
Are you going to come? Are you going to come and do it tonight? It's a moonlit night, Matthew. It's a perfect night for witch hunting.
Enjoy what you've had.
Why is it going to get worse? Is it going to get worse from now on?
When?
We're ready when you
Don't
are.
forget.
Now.
We're going now.
This year.
This minute. You coming?
Come on up and give us your worst. You have any final message?
You like the news or whatever this is?
All you over. Where's your landlord?
Back in America.
Landlord of the pub?
I want a drink.
Make some effort. It's my teeth.
I'll come around.
Whoa.
That was mad.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I didn't hear anything. Made no sense to me at all.
You're trying to justify what you did.
Who was?
Both of you. On occasions you were both like coming out with like out of my mind, mad.
Like it's so bright when you take that.
Was it a man's voice or a woman's voice?
You spoke, and it felt like I was getting mad. I don't know. It was weird. I could hear I don't know. It was weird. Did someone keep walking across here?
No, nobody.
Because it was like the light. I don't know.
No. Man's voice or woman's voice?
I was getting both.
Yeah, it was mixed.
Look, you did it help me. Was that a woman's voice or a man's voice?
Oh, I can't remember. Can't even remember. It's so quick.
Majority of mine were men's voices.
How was your first Estes?
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that. Very weird having it on and obviously saying the words that you're hearing, and sometimes it's hard to hear it, isn't it? And you know, and then it just clicks in your head what the word is. But obviously we don't know what you guys were asking. Didn't hear anything.
You did a great job. We actually had some insane responses.
Really?
Yeah.
It sounds like Matthew is still conflicted over what he did. He won't admit to being wrong. And he's like conflicted with religion, like how the church leaders disagreed with him on the witchcraft. Like,
Really?
Yeah, he's like kept talking about he's been to heaven, won't admit though why he can't get into heaven. And he said he
Shit.
still walks the woods and he's
Yeah.
gonna follow us right now up there.
Oh, great.
I heard going to, I remember the heaven bit.
Yeah.
I've been there
I got
or something.
goosebumps. But I think it might just be because I'm cold.
Yeah, you are showing some thigh right
I
now.
sure am. You like these bad boys?
Well, shall we go to the spooky forest?
Yeah.
Oh!
Bradley, I've got to admit, he has got a soft side. He said, if this was anybody else, I wouldn't drive 6 hours down here.
No, I wouldn't have done.
Because of these guys, I'm coming down.
I don't know if I told you, I told you people were in the forest dancing around. Did I tell you
Yeah.
that story?
Yeah.
It was in here.
Really?
Yeah, this is where it was. We came in the middle of the night, there were people dancing.
Yeah, you got pagans coming down and...
Freaky. You need to check out Epping Forest as well, with the satanic shit.
You didn't?
Oh, you told me about that, didn't you?
Hold up.
There's a few times that we've come down here, and obviously we do the tours, we walk in, we tell a few stories, obviously let them loose on some ghost hunting. But this time we happened just to be walking down, just minding their own business, pretty much like what we're doing tonight. Walked up and they were all candles around the tree, there's all lights around it, and they were all dancing. I didn't speak to them, didn't interact with them or anything, just legged it. Just ran away. No, we sort of stayed on the outskirts, didn't bother them too much, but just walked off. Never seen it again.
You stumbled on a ritual?
It was a ritual going on, there was some weird, whatever it was. We just left them and went to a different part of the forest.
Why do you think they would be doing that out here?
Southern England's got a weird sort of close connection with the supernatural and paranormal. There's a lot of satanic sort of stuff that goes on down here, different groups, you know, rituals, societies, all sorts of stuff. It's massively famous for it, so maybe that's just a part of it. Devil worshipping's supposed to go on quite a lot down here as well. So yeah, there's all manner of different things that go on in the night, especially in these forests.
Well, that's quite the intro.
Yeah, sorry man.
That's a little creepy.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, about 1,000 years. He shouldn't really be alive because 300 years growing, 300 years doing what oak trees do, and 300 years dying. So
That's crazy.
He's been struck by lightning.
The oldest tree anyway.
Holy shit, that is a creepy looking tree.
Yeah. You take photos, people get faces in it.
I bet.
What is that? They won't be here now.
What is this stuff?
No, it's just a piss out. Kids. JD. Fresh Pepsi.
Okay, so this is our last stop of the night, probably the most dark, scariest place that we could bring you on the trail of the Witchfinder General. This is the Witch's Woods. Behind us is Old Knobley. He's around 1,000 years old. He's Great British oak tree. It shouldn't really still be growing. The oak trees tend to spend 300 years growing, 300 years doing what oak trees do, and then 300 years dying. So,
You hear that?
Yeah.
there. Hello? There's gotta be nobody in these woods without a torch, surely. Hello? Matthew, you said you were going to come with us. starting to feel a little bit weird.
Yeah. All right. So what were you saying?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he's really he shouldn't be here, but he's still here. Been standing for almost 1,000 years, and he's where the persecuted souls from the two villages, Manningtree and Mistley, come to try and escape the reaches of Matthew Hopkins. So they hid around here in these woods. But Matthew didn't take long before he followed them to the woods and carried on collecting his witches for the Chelmsford witch trials. Past nights here we've done up here, some people feel very calm, and sometimes it is really calm. Other times it feels a bit like it is tonight. It's almost like it's starting to build. It's not starting to feel very nice. We often see over this way, and the best way of describing it is people carrying lanterns, maybe 2 or 3, and there's no noise, nothing, just these lights, and it appears just like somebody's carrying a lantern. Down the bottom path there, which we will go down later on, you will feel the difference when we walk down there. Leads down towards one of the pools that Matthew used when he was in this area doing his swim test. That path there takes us down to the pool, and over this way we see in the distance almost like people walking.
There's a path. Did you hear that again?
It's not the nettles you want to be afraid of.
You.
It's over there. It's what?
Hello? Some creepy ass trees.
Yeah.
There's also bats out here.
Great. So, what about rituals and other weird stuff that happens out here?
On Hello's there.
Yeah. It's like there's someone throwing shit at us.
There any humans out here? Dude, this is a fucking creepy. It's throwing rocks, dude.
Yeah. You want us to come to you?
Dude, these trees are so creepy looking, man. We don't have these in America. Man, this is probably the creepiest spot we've been to.
It seriously sounds like someone's like running around us and throwing rocks.
It's always like. It's
Yeah.
always like them. Look back. Just in the outskirts. What's it?
Oh god, they should stop.
There's movement over
is this? Is this a swing?
Yeah.
That's terrifying. Where did you see this robe?
Rope.
Oh, I thought you said a
Robe.
You thought he saw a person in a robe and you went and checked it out?
Yeah.
That's where me and you were different.
Is this where you wanted us to come to? Why have you brought us here?
You know it's... Oh my god. Shit. You know it's pretty bad when this is the place you're going to escape. God. Holy fucking shit.
What is that thing?
Huge.
What is that?
Hornet.
Are you fucking kidding me? That... Hell nah. Fuck that shit. I don't like bugs, man. I can deal with cults, just not fucking hornets. Alright.
Yeah, what were we talking about? We were talking about pagans and
yeah, the cults.
The cults. There's definitely nobody around, is there? So whatever those noises were.
So, what's the deal with the cults and the pagans?
Okay, yeah. on certain pagan festival days, maybe Midsummer's Eve, Midwind. Again,
dude, it was right there.
Are there big animals out here?
No.
Nah, man. You're all good. Just werewolves and shit.
Werewolves, squirrels. Just squirrels.
Badgers.
It's literally something throwing like sticks.
Yeah.
Is there anyone there? Make a noise.
You hiding from the Witchfinder?
What?
Whistle.
I just
Whistle.
whistled.
Can you copy this?
Dude, it's right here. What's really bizarre is if it was an animal, you would hear it keep walking.
Rather than just the one. Yeah.
Or if it's something like scurrying in the trees and making stuff fall, it's so quiet here, you would hear it keep moving, but it's like something's
like
throwing. That's exactly what it is.
I think we might be surrounded.
Do you love saying
say that
shit?
again?
I think we might be surrounded.
This guy's a fucking...
There's a clip,
He comes up with the puns, man. He comes up with the puns.
What was this brick structure right here?
An old army base. You know, remember me saying at the time? Yeah, it was an old army base. There used to be a bunker underneath as well. So this was part of the old training bit and stuff. But all of it's gone now.
Anybody ever died out here?
Yeah, we're about to tonight.
Well, apart from us, there's stories all over, aren't there, really? But yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say this seems like a place where people would come to take their lives.
Yeah.
I mean, someone had to have killed themselves on this tree at some point. Wouldn't you imagine? If it's here for 1,000 years, that's like a perfect hanging level.
Should we have a walk down?
Yeah, should we stroll down? There's no nettles. Just ghosts.
This is a really hard to explain kind of vibe out here. It's like really thick with, I don't know, sometimes, especially in England, I feel like you get like mystical energy, like ancient. Oh my God. Fucking Christ. Right when I was, Jesus. But this is a place that has that for sure. And it's just like, you feel the energy all around you. God damn, this is eerie. What are you looking at?
I'm sure I saw some movement.
Oh God.
Just as I flashed the torch around, it was this. There, do you hear the noise?
I bring people back up one time to do it.
Look at this random cut I got on my hand. Yeah, this just started hurting. Right on my angel number tattoo.
And these aren't nettles on the side right here?
No.
Oh.
No, the nettles have gone, the snakes have eaten.
Are there really snakes?
No. I just brought
In a minute we're sort of going to drop down and we're almost there, but I always feel it, and I'm not sensible, but the minute you sort of walk around it, you almost like feel you're walking through into a different energy, and it always happens.
It's so quiet down here.
Do you feel the temperature now just suddenly go?
Yeah.
This is a place someone would dump a body.
It is a spot where someone dunked the body. Oh, God. This looks freaky.
Oh, it's like we're in the jungle.
I will say, if I was a kid though, this is a perfect sport place. This is it?
Yeah, this is the the other pool that Matthew used when he caught up with the people from the villages of Mistley and Manningtree up in the woods. He brought them into this pool. Going back to the days of Matthew Hopkins, it was a little bit smaller. It's been made a little bit bigger by the Victorians, and they've sort of put a walkway around it. But this is the original body of water that he used for the people that he caught in the woods.
So I would imagine there would be terrible energy around a place like that.
Yeah, terrified people. You know, thought they'd escaped, maybe got a short respite from Matthew Hopkins and the Reach, but that was quickly diminished as he caught up with them in the woods and dragged them down here to carry on his. I can see my breath and it's not even cold.
I feel like there's somebody like standing by us.
It has a different feel down here than Old Nobley.
Yeah. This is definitely a little more spooky.
Yeah.
So this is the water right here. That's crazy.
Keep looking behind you. Is it?
Yeah, people do. It gets worse as we go into this little bit here. A few weeks ago, we'd got some people on a ghost hunt with us, and there was one guy looked a bit like Thor actually. He did, a big guy, and we sort of went into there and we did a sort of a little bit of a calling out session, and he was like, "Oh, can I go and stand at the back on my own?" So I said, "Yeah, go and stand at the back." So he went and stood towards the back by that little laying down branch, And after about 2 minutes, all of a sudden he put his torch on. I said, what's the matter? He said, I'm just checking if I need to run. So why do you need to run? He said, because it's really freaking me out here. I said, just stick with it. After about 3 seconds, he just ran at us. Something grabbed his calf muscle. And he was total skeptic. He was, yeah, just do your worst. Should we go and have a look?
Yeah. Fire introductions. Spots.
Yeah, we've had people in this area, particularly women, more than 3, 4, 5 occasions where they've begged, please take me back, take me back. They didn't go back to the old nobly to the group. They're just overcome with emotion. Mandy hit on it. She said feeling sick, dizzy. Yeah. Is it worse here than over there?
No, it was as we were coming down there. That's where it's worse. I don't feel too bad.
Okay.
You want to do a little call out here?
Yeah.
We could do the red light up by the tree.
Yeah.
Abigail.
Is that somebody? It's Bradley. Is that?
Listen.
That was a voice. I'm here.
I swear.
I heard talking. You sure somebody's not down there?
I heard when I told you to stop at first, it was a man like.
Yeah,
I heard that too.
I think I'm like the 2 syllables. It's like I'm here.
Hello.
You felt me.
That's fucking screaming, dude.
Yeah, you felt me.
You felt me. You felt me.
Is there somebody in this forest? Dude, it's like, that was like a screech from hell.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? Dude, this is like some really bad energy down here. Must return.
It's always like this down here.
Yeah, it's coming from right here.
Do you think we should sort of spread out?
Alright, buddy, why don't you call out these spooks? Get this shit cracking. Run.
Mary.
Run, Mary. Is Mary a witch's name?
Mary was his mother's name.
Really?
Yeah.
Matthew Hopkins, his mom?
Head.
That was behind you then. Come on, if you can see us and hear us, come towards us.
Say your name.
Say your name.
My name's Paul. Walk towards us.
Come on, if you're out there, come forward.
My name's Colin.
My name's Connor.
My name's Kelly.
My name's Mandy.
My name's Rachel.
What's your name?
If you can hear my voice, can you make a sound so we know where you are?
Is the name Matthew Hopkins? The name Matthew Hopkins means anything to anybody. John Stern.
I lost one bad spirit.
One bad spirit.
There's one.
And what did it say?
I lost my hair.
And one bad spirit.
They used to shave them, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'm sure they used to.
The witches?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was looking for skin marks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really crazy, actually.
So who's the bad spirit? Is the bad spirit Matthew? Or is it John?
Come on, come close to where we are. We're asking any spirits that are close to where we are now. Come forward. Come out of the shadows and come and stand next to someone. Come forward, you could touch them. Give them a sign that you're there. Does the Witchfinder General mean anything to you? People claim there's a dark entity, energy, that for some reason is still here. Can you come and show yourself now? Walk towards us. We're not afraid.
The devil's near.
Come on. Show yourself, please.
Move things. We really want to talk to someone tonight. We were talking to what seemed like Matthew Hopkins earlier. Is he here tonight?
Something just touched me on my head. I swear. I thought, did you see me react?
Yeah.
We love talking.
It touched me up here, but this branch is the closest. I would have had to be like this.
So we're not talking.
We love talking.
We love talking.
If you love talking, come and speak to us.
Matthew, we've got 3 witches here. Come and find them.
What's that shit down there?
Can you feel the cold? Almost like coming in.
Yes.
It's a bag.
This one time I was filming at this place in California, known for rituals, and we found a legitimate bagged up curse.
Did you hear that?
What?
Did you hear that?
What, footsteps?
Yeah, over here.
It just said girl too, right when you ask about the witches.
Who's out here?
Again. Are you coming close? Come on, Matthew, if that's you, come and do your worst.
Negative.
Why is there a negative energy out here?
Disagree.
Can you feel it getting colder?
A lot colder.
Yeah. No breeze, almost just like a freezer door's been opened. Yeah.
Printed.
There again.
What could that be?
It's like something's been thrown.
That's not the sound.
If you're over there,
I will set it off.
If I throw this, can you throw it back to me?
Wait and see. Destroy. Foremost.
Did you hear that?
Did you hear it?
Like that.
Fucking warning, please, pal.
It was like do, wasn't it?
I don't like sitting there. I feel like someone's coming up behind me.
Weapon. Matthew Hopkins? Are you here?
People are scared of us.
Is it the witches? The people in town?
Maybe us here.
It is haunted. They are scared to come to the forest at night, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's loads of stories that people won't come here when it's dark. And everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, can you talk about that? Locals won't come to the forest?
Not at night. Only, like young kids and stuff like that, they'll come. But apart from anyone else, they won't come up. Locals tend to stay away from this area.
What's their reasoning?
Just the folklore and the stories of hauntings and ghosts and all that, and that have come from this very wood. Obviously, Old Knobley as well, the tree with its stories connected with the witchcraft and everything as well, with the satanic rituals that's supposed to go on. So people just tend to stay clear.
Money discriminated holy surveillance.
And that's kind of what he was doing.
Yeah.
Money discriminated, hold surveillance.
Definitely not alone, are we?
No.
Oh! I'm not alone! Right when you said that! What the f***? That's crazy.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, definitely not
Did you
alone.
say 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
So, where's 10 o'clock on the, because that's how some people used to talk, didn't they? So it would be over there.
Rustling again.
That's so creepy.
The branch just moved. It did. That branch just moved.
What?
The branch just
That
moved.
upright twig thing. We heard that rustle and that twig thing moved. It was moving.
You just walk towards Mandy.
You saw that, didn't you?
It's a dog. It's a dog just in the water.
Don't tell things to walk towards me.
Grandad.
There's definitely. It's there. It's there. It's there.
And it's stuff being like thrown.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Come from over there.
It's almost like
surrounding us,
or they're either moving round or.
30, hear me. There's somebody here.
That literally sounded like a dunking sound in the water.
Ugly again.
Again. It's like the sound of
I was 80.
Elizabeth.
Isn't Elizabeth 80?
Yeah. Elizabeth, are you with us?
Under your bed. It's like it switches from him to
Yeah.
the victims and back and forth, doesn't it?
Oh, it's gotten way colder here.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, are you around us? Was you accused of witchcraft?
Something's literally like surrounding us.
afraid of us?
I feel like I'm hearing voices down there.
I was punished.
What was you punished for?
Kelly, go and have a look.
Yeah, go on. We'll wait here for you.
There's more than one of you.
I feel like I'm hearing shit down here.
Do you mean us harm?
Where's the next
Anomaly.
Next noise going to be in there.
Yeah.
This is a little more than eerie.
Yeah.
Anywhere else you want to go down here?
We're watching you.
We're watching you.
Below.
Below.
Should we walk back down to the water bit?
Now we can go do the red light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8%.
Have you got IR for the red light?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shooting in that shot right now.
Do you need the IR? All these old vines and whatever this shit is. So creepy, dude.
I wouldn't.
No.
What was that there?
Right here.
Scary here.
Yeah. So, where should we do this?
Hey everybody, it's Colin here. Thank you for watching today's video. Hello to all the new subscribers and hello to the rest of our beautiful, wonderful, spooky family. As you know, every single week here on the channel, we give away a free gift bag to one lucky viewer of the show. And this week, to enter the contest, all you have to do is like today's video, let's smash that like button, and comment Witchfinder in the comment section below. I'm going to give y'all 10 seconds to do this now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So go comment. You can comment multiple times. It helps the video so much. But anyways, let's get back to today's video. Thank you for listening to my little spiel. I love you guys so much and stay spooky.
So really quick, can you explain what we're about to do?
Okay, this is something that we like to try. It's called transfiguration scrying, where we sit her down, get them nice and relaxed, ask them to almost like zone out, close their eyes and don't react to anything we're saying, and we invite the spirits to overshadow their features and try and show us what they look like. So people standing watching will get a base reading, and any changes that we get, we will call out and say, oh yeah, he looks like he's got a tash, or his face is drawn, or anything at all. And quite often we can ask the spirit that's overshadowing your features if they can show us their eyes or open the spirit eyes, and if that happens, almost like eyes on top of your eyes, but they've got no pupils, and they're a very much lighter red than the light that we're using. On extreme cases, we have had people taken over by spirit, and the spirit have used their voice to talk to us.
Shit. So I'm just supposed to sit here and
just chill out. Ignore that we're here, and if you want to go dark, if I just get you positioned. Perfect. So if you close your eyes, zone out, almost like don't listen to what we're saying. We call upon the spirits, this ancient woodland, the poor persecuted souls of Matthew Hopkins, or Matthew Hopkins himself. Please step forward. Come and overshadow Colin's features and show us what you look like in this life. Just step close to Colin. Step close to Colin.
This is freaky looking. It's like his eyebrows are moving.
Yeah.
And getting like bushier.
The spirit is with Colin now. Can you try and open your eyes and look around? Show Colin what you can see.
Looking a bit devilish, isn't it?
Yeah. That's where his eyelids look like blue.
Open your eyes and show Colin what you can see. Can you put an emotion onto Colin, a feeling, whether you're angry, whether you're sad, whether you're in fear? Try and put that emotion onto him. Maybe you can give him a name. Can you tell Colin your name?
In the gardens, buried deep.
His eyes are almost like disappeared.
I know.
His eyes should be.
It does. It looks angry. And there's something moving around right behind him.
There is.
Is this Matthew Hopkins?
Tell Colin your name. Draw closer. Use this opportunity to show us what you look like. Just before we ask you to step back, can you give Colin...
It's coming up like right behind him.
Give Colin a name.
James.
Are you happy? Sad? Are you afraid? Maybe you're angry.
It's fucking weird. It's really like I can see his eyes, but his eyes are closed.
Yeah. His eyes are closed, but like you say, that you can see eyes.
Yeah.
They're going really quite white now. You don't see the white
Mhm.
you. Really. How old are you, James?
Getting 67.
That would kind of match the eyebrows.
It's crazy. It does not look like Colin in this camera angle.
We should have warned Colin before we started that sometimes people stick with what they look like with the red light.
Well, that's not good.
His eyes are weird though, aren't they?
Yeah.
What are you
What?
doing here, James?
Did you not hear that? I'm sorry, everyone, stop. Did you not hear that?
Yeah.
What?
It was like right next to me here. It was like just a noise, really loud.
No.
His eyes are moving behind his
Mhm.
eyelids.
Are you happy that we're here, James?
See the skin around his...
I get sad.
The skin around his cheekbones is going... It's like...
Mhm.
What are you sad about? Can you tell us what happened?
Wife.
Was your wife killed?
Did Matthew Hopkins take your wife?
I know.
You see the eyes?
Was she accused of being a witch?
Have you not found her yet?
Some weird shit going on over there.
Can you tell us your wife's name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer? If you're here, will you come towards my voice?
James is here looking for you.
come forward, you can be with James.
His breathing's getting quite erratic. His nostrils are flaring.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see her, James?
Is there anything else we can do for you, James?
I get fuck off.
Huh? Well, we're sorry you can't find your wife,
And
James.
find her. Like, I am overcome with sadness.
I thought he was going to start.
I thought he was going to start crying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I practically am.
Yeah.
We're really sorry, James.
Jennifer, can't you come forward? Be with James before we leave. He really wants to see you. Come and be with him.
It's sad to think maybe she was never here, and he was one of the people who fled to the forest. Is that true, James? Was she ever here? Berlin.
Nah!
Oh,
I got a vibe to scream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy as f. Turn the light on.
There's a really loud bang over there just before you start.
Look at my eyes.
I know.
He's like crying.
Can you film it?
Yeah.
His eyes were smaller, his forehead
Look
was
at
bigger. He had big bushy eyebrows. The noises that were going on behind you.
Yo, that's
What's
actually
crazy.
That's
It was like
crazy as
you
hell.
said wife, and what's your wife's name? And it said Jennifer.
Yeah.
That's so trippy. Is that stinging nettle?
Yeah.
For me, I barely missed it.
Well, shit.
Dude, that's crazy as fuck. I've never done that before.
You do it again?
Yeah. That was crazy. Like, legit. And I don't know if you saw, but I felt like my jaw was going like...
Your eyes were flickering a lot and going from side to side. Your forehead was like, you know, like Neanderthal man?
Mm-hmm.
Big bushy eyebrows. And your jawline was like...
And this bit here was really sunken in.
Yeah.
This bit.
And then
It seriously did look like an old man.
That's exactly what I felt like it was.
Yeah.
It really felt like an older... But what would that be? What do you guys think that would be?
The guy who lost his wife.
Maybe he grew old. You know, you came back here after looking for her when he died or something.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I think this is the end of our journey out here, right?
What a way to finish.
Have to agree.
Y'all taking the bottle of Pepsi?
Little snack for
I
little
think somebody
Polly.
will come back for that.
Why just leave in a rush? What?
It is weird that, like, what is this?
Like a shoebox?
Yeah.
Trainers, and it's JD bag, man.
JD Sports.
Shop.
No.
Before we leave, to any spirits in the forest, any spirits whose lives were affected by Matthew Hopkins, any other spirits who have nothing to do with that story, to the man that I just connected with, to everybody, thank you humbly for talking with us and for allowing us in here.
Yeah, we really appreciate you talking with us. We hope that you can rest peacefully.
I'm gonna touch the tree once. I never touched it. Oh, there's a lot of spiders in this. That wasn't as cool as I thought it was. Dude, there are lots of spiders. At the end of the day, we walked away from that experience dumbfounded. We had truly chased the ghost of Matthew Hopkins, from the beaches to the forests, to the bridges and to the ponds. But had we really found him? I don't know. We had found something. We had talked to somebody. But I still don't know who or what that was. The stories and tales and folklore from this area are absolutely incredible. They're stories I had never heard before, and history that largely has gone unexplored. But that's why we decided to do this video. There's such a larger story here that deserves to be told, that deserves to be shared. This is history that we need to know, we need to learn. And this is a haunting that I'd been dying to investigate for years. So I'll leave it up to you, the viewer, to decide.
Does the ghost of Matthew Hopkins, the Witchfinder General, still stalk these very streets? Or is there something more sinister afoot in this part of England? I don't know, but this is our final video from our England series. We had such an incredible time, and it was such a fulfilling journey. Thanks to everybody who joined in along the way. I love you, and stay spooky.